Welcome to our law session. I am Daniel. In this session, we will focus on the concept of intention to create legal relations and also categories of intention by discussing a few cases that related to these elements of contract. Now, let's start with the definition of intention to create legal relations. It means the parties under the agreement are ready to face any circumstances if they fail to perform any obligation under their agreement. Intention to create legal relation consists of keenness of a party to accept the legal sequences of entering into an agreement. But intention to create legal relation is not subjected to Contract Act 1950. To enter into a legally binding contract, every contracting party must have necessary intention towards each other. Therefore, the agreement can be enforceable by law. There are a few concepts of intention to create legal relation. First, the contracting parties will be apparent to enter a serious contract. Their mind will understand each of contents in the contracts. Both parties have to agree with the agreement which their intention is concerned. The contract will be a void agreement if there is no agreement by both parties. Second, the contract will not be enforceable, legal, and binding if there is no intention to create legal relations. Both parties should have true intention to create legal relations at the very beginning of the agreement. The contract can be assumed as not legal, thus the contracting parties are not legally binding. Third, without intention to create legal relations, the parties cannot see each other. The contract will be enforceable by law when the contracting parties are not legally binding. Business crisis between both parties will be ruined as both cannot see each other. So, these circumstances will make them hard to attain justice. The contract may become a mere promise. Let me give you an example of a situation. John's dad promised to give him his law firm if he successfully graduated his law degree. So when the mere promise occurred, John's dad still owned the company even though John himself finished his law degree. Why? This is because there is no legal contract between John and his dad. The intention to create legal relations, the contract may lack of binding effect. Contract of agreement will be less powerful and not convincing due to one or both parties does not have consent mind. It will cause the difficulty of the parties involved in future because the contract is lack of binding effect. In order to recognize intention to create legal relation in an agreement, the agreement is split into two, which is family arrangement and business negotiation. So, family arrangement. This law treated family arrangement as an agreement without intention to create legal relation. However, the rule can be denied. If there is any proof to show intention to create legal relation, the agreement can be enforceable by law. As an example, in Balfour versus Balfour, the husband, which is the defendant, worked in Ceylon. He came to Ceylon with his wife on his holiday. Later, when he go back to Ceylon, he promised his wife to give £140 per month as a maintenance, but then he failed to keep up the payments. His wife sued him. So marriage broke up. When the plaintiff, which is the wife, sued, the court held that there is no contract. So the plaintiff failed to prove that there is an intention to create legal relation from both of them. It's different in married versus married. When the agreement was made, the husband, which is the defendant, and his wife, which is the plaintiff, they were no longer living together. Therefore, they must have intended the agreement to be binding. This intention was evidenced by writing. The husband has to transfer the house to his wife. Now, let's move to the second part, which is business negotiation. So, in business negotiation, parties to the agreement are supposed to have intention to create legal relation. However, the rule can be denied. We can take a Khalil versus Kabbalik Smoke Ball case as an example. The Kabbalik Smoke Ball Company manufactured and sold Kabbalik Smoke Ball. The company indicated in the advertisement that any person who uses smoke ball 3 times per day as directed and contracted influenza, colds, or any other disease can be rewarded £100. After seeing the advertisement, Khalil purchased it and used it as directed. Khalil contracted influenza and made a claim for the reward. Unfortunately, Kabbalik Smoke Ball Company, which is the defendant, failed to deny an intention to create legal relation because the depositing of the £100 demonstrated intention. The last cases, which is Rose and Frank Company versus Crompton Brooks, there was an agreement between Rose companies and Crompton companies, whereof the farmer were appointed to the selling agent in North America for the letters. One of the clauses included was, this arrangement is not a formal legal arrangement and shall not be subjected into any jurisdiction law of courts. This arrangement was not a legally binding contract as the parties intended not to have any legally binding.